Hi, welcome. So today we're going to start in a seated position. So you can start cross-legged like we've done the past few times. The other option is to go for a kind of hero's pose where we're looking for knees to be together and then sitting back on the feet to start with. So if I go from the side you can see a little bit better. But basically we've got feet underneath the hips. If that is all comfortable and it's nice, not too difficult, the other option is you can take the feet apart and then sit in between the ankles. It will let the hips get a little bit lower, but it will work quite a lot stronger into the knees. So have a play around in what is comfortable. You can also get a block or pillow and put that underneath you just for a bit more support if it feels like the hips sink a little bit too much in towards the mat. And then once you've found whichever comfortable position you've got, have a double check that the knees are nice and straight as well. So there's no sense of twisting or any kind of aching or pulling into the knees. They're nice and comfortable in line with the feet and the hips. We'll roll the shoulders back and down, lift the chest nice and high on that inhale. Raise the top of the head as high as you possibly can, chin tucks slightly, back of the neck lengthens, and then gently exhale. Feel the shoulders and elbows getting nice and heavy. Fall down the back as much as they can, and then keep the gaze forwards or down. You might even close the eyes for a couple of moments, and then just gently inhaling, lifting the top of the head, lifting the chest, gently exhaling, feeling the shoulders get nice and heavy. So settling into the position, see how comfortable it feels in through the feet, the hips, around the knees. Hopefully no sense of pain. We've got lots of length through the back and that nice even breath. Great. So on that next inhale, you're going to start to raise the hands up above you as you take the next breath. I'll come back around, but gently inhale, raise the hands as high as you like. Big exhale, you're going to take right hand onto left knee and then left hand comes back behind you. Keep that chest nice and lifted, top of the head as tall as can be, and then just gently looking over that left shoulder. Nice gentle breath, and then gently inhale, bring the hands up nice and high. Find that length as high as you can through the top of the head, and then gently exhale, left hand on right knee. Right hand comes back behind you, you're going to take your gaze over that right shoulder. Nice big deep breaths, finding that space into the chest. And then as slowly as you like, we'll inhale. Keep length through the back as you raise the hands up high above you. We'll actually interlace the fingers. We'll turn the palms up the other way. Really press the palms as much as possible away from you. Stretch into those forearms. Raise the hands up nice and high. So you're always trying to take the hands right up above the head. So you're going to press out and away with that chest space as much as you can. Bring the chest towards the left-hand side. Just press out with the chest as much as you possibly can. Great. And then slowly we'll work through centre and then take the chest towards the right-hand side. Really pressing hands up high, working them up high above the head. And then gently exhale, release the hands down. Roll the shoulders back and down a couple of times. We'll interlace the fingers, the opposite thumb on top this time. Turn the palms up the other way, raise them up nice and high. And then we'll start on the right hand side. Look for that pressing out of the chest, raising of the hands. Shoulders come down away from the ears as much as possible. So it's that chest that's really pressing out. And then gently exhale, draw towards the left hand side. Keep that length through the top of the head. Big inhale, big exhale, release the hands down. Great. So roll shoulders back and down a couple of times. Take a last inhale. Final exhale. And then we'll release or come off of seated. We'll bring the hands over to one side. We're going to come through to all fours. So root yourself down nice and firmly through the hands. Knees and tops of the feet. Little toe, big toe are in touch with the mat. And then really slow to start with. Double check those insides of the elbows looking in towards each other. And then we'll just gently press into the mat. Roll into a couple of cat-cows. So straight into cat. Rolling through, back into cow. Raise the gaze. Big inhale, big exhale. Roll back through. And then nice and slow, rolling back. Great. One last cat. And then one last cow. Once you're through, gently exhale, raise the gaze. And then come back to a neutral position. We're going to take big toes together, knees as wide as you like. Swing the hips back and then gently stretch the hands as far forwards as you can. We're going to raise the wrists up as high as you can. So we're onto the fingertips. Walk those fingertips as far forwards as you can. So gain that nice big stretch into the shoulders. Big inhale, big exhale. Chest releases down a little bit more. You might find the top of the head can release down. It might be staying up a tiny bit high. You might also find that the hips are kind of stacking a tiny bit higher, or they might swing all the way back towards the feet. Wherever you are, just take a couple of breaths. Release into Balasana, child's pose. And then seeing if we can really broaden the back body, the whole top of the back on that gentle inhale. And then gently exhaling, feeling the chest get a little bit heavier, closer towards the mat. Great, so it should feel quite nice to release the insides of the legs as well as the front side of the chest into the shoulders. We're going to start to root down the hands, raise the head up a little bit just off the mat. Plant those hands so they're nice and flat. Gently inhale, raise the right hand as high as you can. We're going to thread the needle, so open the chest nice and big. Swing that right hand underneath you, underneath the left hand, and then let that right shoulder release onto the mat. Right fingers can wiggle away from you as much as you like, and then just letting that right shoulder gently release. Couple of breaths here, again keeping that sense of release to the insides of the legs as well. Slowly start to open out that right hand, raise it up nice and high. Big exhale, place that back down, and we'll swap to the other side, so left hand up high this time. Big exhale, release the left shoulder down. So we've got a couple of breaths, just seeing how this shoulder feels, how do the legs feel on this side as well. And then again, see if those left fingers can just move a tiny bit further away from you on your exhale to deepen that stretch into the shoulder. We'll start to inhale. You're going to bring the left hand as high as you like. Big exhale, and then we'll swing ourselves back up to all fours. We're going to bring knees underneath the hips. Just start to square off into all fours to start with, so find that balance again. Double check the insides of the elbows looking towards each other, just press into the hands, get them nice and flat, round into the upper back slightly as well. And then what we're going to do is just slowly walk the knees back a fraction, and then we'll take the hands down onto the mat, so the hands and the forearms. So we've got this whole forearm right from the fingers, tips of the fingers all the way through the palm, other side of the knuckles, base of the thumb, all the way through the forearms. And then we'll swing the hips so they're just in line with the knees. And then when you gently exhale, we're going to look for that chest to release down towards the mat. So we've got heart to earth pose or puppy pose. You're just looking for that nice big release on the exhale, and then on the inhale you might find that you come up slightly. Gently exhale, again work down the chest as far as it wants to go towards the mat. And you should find that you get a pretty strong stretch into the shoulders, front part of the chest, among other places. And then gently inhale, come up slightly. We'll exhale, release again. Double check if the elbows have started to split out, or if you can keep them nice and parallel. So there's always that temptation, if the elbows start to fall out slightly, we lose some of the stretch into the shoulders, but it does mean you can get down a little bit closer towards the mat. Great, so we'll slowly inhale, lift the chest up. One last time, we'll exhale, release back down into your heart to earth pose. And then as slowly as you like, swing up forwards. We're going to walk the hands forwards, walk the hips back onto the mat or forwards onto the mat, and then take the elbows forward slightly. So to start with, we're in a little supported Sphinx pose, and we'll roll shoulders back and down. Just look for that gentle effort through the pubic bone, tops of the feet, little toe and big toe. The lower back needs to be nice and comfortable, and to start with, you can just work these elbows a little bit further forwards, and you'll try and draw this chest forwards as much as you can. If that's all fine, then you'll walk the elbows back slightly, so the elbows are underneath the shoulders, and we'll gently keep that little bit of effort pressing down into the pubic bone to lift the chest up. have a check, is the lower back nice and comfortable? You might find that it's just a little bit too much and it's kind of crunching slightly into the lower back, in which case you can either walk those elbows forwards again, or you might even like to come down to your cobra, so taking the hands down towards the chest, gaze comes towards the mat for the baby cobra, draw the elbows back behind you, and then lift slightly with the top of the head and the back nice and engaged. So in either option, we've got this sense of the chest drawing forwards, but loads of downward effort from the tops of the feet, from the pubic bone as well. Have a couple of breaths wherever you are. See which one is more comfortable. Maybe it's a little bit lower in cobra. You might even find that you can come up a little bit higher in cobra. Gently inhale, gently exhale. Release top of the head down. Great, we'll come up one last time. So if we went for, or if we're in cobra, in Sphinx pose, we're going to head towards cobra, so then you can walk the hands back towards the chest, so we're all meeting up in a little baby cobra. Lift the top of the head up, draw the elbows in, gently inhale, gently exhale, top of the head releases down. Great, so release both the arms down either side of you, and then we're going to take the top foot, just draw that away from you slightly, and then let the foot release down. And then we're going to lift the left foot up, take that away from you as much as you can possibly manage, and then let that left foot release. And then nice and slow, we're going to go for some locusts. So half locust to start with. We'll raise the right foot as high as you like. You'll take the right foot and leg, left hand and arm, and then lift the chest and top of the head up off the mat. So we're nice and open into the chest, engaging through the back to kind of diagonally across the back to begin with. Nice big inhale, big exhale, release back down. Left foot comes up high, right arm, chest and head lifts off the mat. Big inhale, big exhale, release back down. We'll go on the other side again, so right foot, left arm, chest and head, lifts as high as it can, and then gently exhale, releasing back down. We'll take the left foot up, right arm, on half locust again, lifting that chest, lifting the head as high as you like, and then slowly releasing back down. Great, so we can either stick with those holds, so it'll be right leg, left arm. You might find that you want to take both the feet up, both the arms up, chest and head, so we're heading towards our full locust, so drawing the head as high as you can really, so really focusing that effort into the back. Nice big open chest, big inhale, big exhale, gently release back down, and then we'll take the other side if you went with half, or we're going our full locust again. Both the feet, both the hands, keep them out nice and tall. Great, feel that effort into the back. Big inhale, big exhale, release nice and slow. Perfect, so you might want to stay there. You can also take that hands forwards, in which case you could go back to your halves, you could sit with a full, but if we go right arm, left leg to start with, just lifting that out as far as you like. Top of the head, chest still raises, and then let that release. Left arm, right leg, lift the chest, top of the head. Nice big inhale, and then let that release. And then we've got our full extended full locust. So both the legs, both the hands, you might want chest, top of the head up off as well. By all means, you're welcome to come back to the previous version if it's a little bit too much into the back. Big inhale, big exhale. Slowly release down. And then just let the hands down either side of you. Head can release. Just lie down on the mat. Let the back be completely loose for a couple of moments as you work the breath nice and gently. Great, so we'll slowly just start to raise the right foot up towards you. And then we can begin by kind of just slowly working that right foot as close as it will go towards the hips. And you might find that even just gently kind of working that right foot towards you, you'll get a sense of a little bit of a stretch through the front thigh or the right thigh. And then if that all feels okay, what we can do is just grab maybe like a trouser leg or the top of the sock or something, heel, you might find that you can just ever so slightly work that right foot a little bit closer towards you. In which case, great, just do that. Just gently put a little bit of effort into the foot to stretch into that top side of the right foot. Gently inhale, exhale. See if there's any space. See how the top of that thigh feels. And then nice and slow, we'll let that release. We'll come to the other side. So have a play around to start with, just drawing that left heel towards you. See how the top of the thigh feels. Maybe it feels great just to stay here. You might want to grab that trouser leg, the sock, it can be any part of the foot or the ankle, just slowly working the left foot towards you. Gaining that stretch into the top side of the left thigh. And then keeping a little bit of tension on the breath as well. So slowly exhaling, see if there's any stretch to come on your inhale, back out slightly. And then we'll just let that left foot release back down. Now we can play around with exactly what we just did. If you want to go a little step further, you can bring both the feet together. Start to straw into the feet. See what stretch that brings into the thighs. If that, again, is absolutely fine, you want to go a little bit further, we'll head into bow pose. So you can start to just gently press the fronts of the feet into the hands and the hands into the feet, and then gain a sense of lifting up from the hands of the feet. And you're going to lift the thighs up off the mat, the front of the chest, the top of the head, and kind of lift, 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 lift. Just take yourself as high as you want to go. Nice big back bend into especially the lower back. So there's no sense of crunching. Nice, even and supported. Open into the chest. As slow as you like, we'll release that back down. Start to take both the feet back and away from you. Hands are going to release on the mat. Couple of breaths just to release from your bow pose. And then as slow as you like, we'll press into the hands. We're going to roll onto our backs. Head towards the knees up and away from it. Head faces up towards that rear wall while the knees are up tall, the lower back's nice and flush with the mat. Tuck the shoulder blades down the back. Look for a little bit of space into the chest. And then we'll bring the knees towards the right hand side. See how that feels into the lower back. And then nice and slow, we'll bring the knees through centre. You're going to take them onto the left hand side. See how that stretches into the hips, through back again. And then we'll gently inhale. Bring the knees up tall. And then we'll take the soles of the feet together, knees as wide as you like, so Supta Baddha Konasana or recline bound angle. Look for a comfort into the insides of the legs, so the feet might be a little bit further away from you if you want less. If you want more, you can take the feet almost as close up towards you as you like, towards the head. And we'll just keep the hands on the mat, nice and released. Top of the head stays on the mat as well. And then just gently exhaling. See if on your exhale, the insides of the legs just slowly release to make the knees creep down. So it's the release of the insides of the legs that help the knees go a little bit closer towards the ground. We're not doing any sense of forcing, we're not putting any weight or anything like that on the knees. It's just a nice, gentle release on each exhale. We can shimmy the top of the head a little bit tall, just make sure the shoulder blades are still tucked behind the back, so we're nice and supported. Loads of length through the back. And we're slightly deepening the breath. So we might slowly start to extend the exhale by a second or two. And then as gently and slowly as you like, we'll take the hands to the outsides of the knees, draw the knees together. Keep the knees there if there's any pain in the lower back or it feels a bit strange. Otherwise, just bring the feet long. Take one foot long, followed by the other foot. Come into your Shavasana, corpse pose. So Have the palms facing upwards, chest nice and open, deepening the breath slightly. And then maybe just scan through the body, kind of find every single muscle you possibly can. Just tense that muscle up, all the muscles up, so stretching the hands, the feet, glutes, hips, chest, back, face, top of the head, all kind of tense, and then completely let that release. Feel nice and heavy into the mat. Slowly extend that exhalation. Have a scan through the toes, the feet, each of the legs, hips, lower back, into the upper back, down the arms, elbows, forearms, hands, fingers, and fingertips. And then releasing through the chest on your exhale. Take that sense of release up through the neck, the jaw, the face, eyes, ears, tongue to the crown and top of the head. And just give yourself 3 breaths, entirely in your own time. So no sense of control, just noticing those breaths come and go. If there's any noise or thought that pops into your head, just take that attention to those 3 breaths. So slowly, we'll begin to move the fingers, move the toes, stretch the heels out. Interlace the fingers together, just turn the palms up the other way and then stretch the arms up nice and high. Press the heels out, stretch the whole body, feel the side body get nice and long, and then exhale. Draw one knee in towards you, followed by the other knee. Give yourself a little hug in towards the chest. And then gently exhale. We'll take the hands over to one side, press into the hands. We'll come through to seated. Nice, easy Sukhasana, cross-legged. Feel heavy into the hips, through the knees. Roll the shoulders back and down, find a bit of length. Through the back into the chest. Bring the hands into the chest as well, and then release. Big inhale, biggest, deepest breath of all week. Big exhale as well. Namaste. Thank you very much for watching. Any questions at all, let me know. Otherwise, hopefully see you soon. Thank you.